is my prayer cloth. So today, anything that has to do with anger management, we are going to discuss. So today's article by New York Post is on The Wire. Has anyone watched this show? I would assume it's a show. It sounds familiar. I'm not into shows. I do have cable, but look, the reason why I don't watch cable, and I haven't had it for years, and during the pandemic, I just thought, oh, I should have cable. And there are not all these channels, like hundreds or thousands of channels, and it's just so overwhelming. And I don't have the time and energy to just find stuff and figure stuff out. So I don't watch it. But yeah, I need to start because I pay for it. But The Wire actor alleges sex abuse by journalist who calls contact consensual. Sorry. So, which one is that? So there's a photo here of a man and a woman. So which one is calling out the sex abuse? We'll find out. The Wire actor, oh God, this name is not an American name. So, oh my God, I cannot pronounce this name. Oh, geez, y'all gonna clown me. Gbenga. It's Gbenga, and the last name is Akinnagbe, whatever. I think it's an African name. So I'm gonna call the person GA. Those are the initials. So The Wire actor GA alleges sexual abuse at the hands of journalist Lola. So this is different. The man is accusing the woman of abuse. Is this a new trend now? Is this a fad? A phase, a fad, or it's the same thing? That now men are standing up, which is great, right? Because men should be able to stand up and not be afraid to be clowned, because people would think, why would a man be upset if a woman is making advances to them? If the man doesn't want it, then, well, I gotta be careful. I'm sure if I don't see anything, then you shouldn't see anything either. Let me just keep it to the side. So, yeah. So if a man doesn't want the advance, then they should be able to make a report or voice themselves about the situation without fear of being laughed at or ridiculed. So the journalist's name is Lola, and she has also a very difficult last name. So her last name starts in A, so Lola A. In Brooklyn court, so they went to court. Actor GA of The Wire fame has alleged in Brooklyn criminal court that a journalist sexually abused him on 2 occasions, while the Scribes lawyer insisted Monday that the contact was part of a consensual relationship between the pair. Lola, who played, it's not Lola, GA, the victim GA, who played murderous drug organization enforcer Chris Portlow. I guess that's his name in the show. It's a 3-season acclaimed HBO crime drama. Alleged that Lola A grabbed his buttocks during 2 separate encounters in May and June 2020, according to a criminal complaint. Wow. So Lola, a journalist whose work has appeared in outlets including The Guardian and The Statesman. I know I've heard of The Guardian, which is probably up there, almost like National Geographic, right? Statesman, I don't know. She was arrested. Oh my God, she got arrested? Oh Lord, ladies, take a lesson. But that's crazy. She grabbed his butt. That's really aggressive. And I guess, can you do that nowadays? Like, people get arrested because I was at a party. I was gonna say a club, but we were all dancing, and it was, by this time it was really late, and I think everybody there was drunk. So okay, we're dancing, and then all of a sudden I feel somebody trying to grab my ass, and I'm just like, I pushed his hand away, and just because it's late, and everyone's had drinks, and we already talked, because after being at a party for, I don't know, 5 hours, you done already met almost everybody, and that doesn't give you a right to grab them. But yeah, I was like, damn, the nerve. So yeah, and I know back in the days it was pretty common in clubs that people will try to. Somebody put a post today on It's funny, today somebody put a post on Instagram with like two lizards or something, and the one lizard was like all like this grabbing the other one, and it said a caption: "This is how guys walk through the club, and they'll say, 'Oh, excuse me, love,' and they just make excuses to touch you and rub up on you." But this is a new day and age. But God knows how many um, times where it's just like dark, pack of people, music, loud club, and someone tried to grab, your butt. It's happened a couple of times, probably more than a couple. And I kind of almost embarrassed to even say that in a minute. Because you want to think that this is like a normal thing, but no, it shouldn't be. It's not right. Even if it's like a party setting where people are having fun and trying to be, relaxed, and you're just like, it's not acceptable. So it is still considered harassment. So nowadays, I don't know, what should I do? Should I slap a guy? I don't know. It's just like, just push him away, and I don't know, leave or whatever. But yeah, 2 times. Especially when this is like a club and a party when you're like with friends. And sometimes people want to think, okay, this setting is a more relaxed setting and it's different, but it's not. But this setting is like a professional setting. That would be like you're at work and you're getting coffee, and then your boss comes next to you and grab your ass. It's like, whoa, WTF. That setting versus a setting where you're like at a house party with friends and everyone's drinking, and yeah, so it's just like, well, seems like a fine line. So the Guardian and the New Statesman. So okay, I'm sorry repeating that. So she was arrested May 2001, which is this year, May 26th, and hit with charges including forcible touching, sexual abuse, and harassment. Public record shows. But the actor's attorney, Robert, said Monday that they have evidence showing that the journalist and the actor were in a consensual relationship. So I guess it's her lawyer. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry, her lawyer. So her lawyer is claiming that there's evidence that they had a consensual relationship. And those names are really mixing me up. I'm so sorry, you guys. So, oh my God, this is a long ass, excuse my French. This is a really long article. So including 3 binders filled with flirty text messages exchanged between the pair since they met at a party in 2019, as well as a photo of them together. You see, there I am, I'm talking about parties. That's how it all starts. That's how it all gets started. So there's a picture of them with a selfie, smiling. So I guess the attorney used this photo as evidence, claiming that, hey, this is proof that, hey, her arm is around him on the photo. So the lawyer is insisting that the contact was part of a consensual relationship. Quote, in that first binder are hundreds of text messages. See, this must have been some bitter breakup. Like, they say like nothing like a scorned woman, something like that. I guess nothing like a scorned man. So in the first binder, there are hundreds of text messages back and forth from one to the other, from one another, that make it very clear that the two young people were flirting, or the two. Look, I'm gonna just be a little bit, um, you know, yeah. I'm just gonna do my own flow. So even in the text messages, they were talking about snuggling and kissing. The message spanned 3 distant eras. I don't know what the hell that means. But prior to the first alleged incident of sexual abuse between the two alleged incident, and since the encounters. So that means even after he reported there was another incident? Yeah. Wow. Says prior to the first alleged incident and then in between. That is weird. So this is complicated. Lola moved into a Brooklyn apartment owned by the actor. Aimed the alleged untoward behavior and worked on his behalf. So she was living with him? Okay. So even after that, the actor would later characterize as abuse. After this last incident, were all the text messages, which shows a continuation of their relationship. But now it is clear she feels hurt and abused by the fellow, because while all of this was going on, she moves from her apartment in Manhattan and moves into an apartment that he owns, and she is a neighbor of his now. So okay, he owns the apartment. He's not living there with her. Okay. So he owns the apartment. That's interesting. Why did he rent the apartment to her if he feels victimized by her? So wow, they take trips upstate, and this is after he alleged that she committed the sexual crimes against him. He continued, quote, she was so there are a lot of quotes, so I'm sorry, this is the first time I'm making a quote. Quote, she was working for him 24/7. She was on call every single second of every day, on weekends, writing press releases for him, unquote. Okay. So the actor said that the relationship sourced earlier this year when the journalist fell behind on her rent to him. So what, because she didn't pay the rent, he came up with this? Wow. So it looks like after she fell behind her rent, yeah, all of a sudden, look, I don't want to make assumptions, but doesn't it kind of sound like that's the case? She fell behind the rent, and he demanded that she be paid. Oh, okay, wait a minute. So she fell behind on her rent, and she demanded that she be paid for her work. So she was working for him and not getting paid, and she was living in his apartment, not paying an apartment. So I guess her excuse was, hey, you didn't pay me, so I can't pay the rent. So though the civil case between the pair were eventually settled, I want to settle out in the court sealed case. The actor then filed criminal charges. So after they resolved it, then he filed criminal charges against her over alleged sexual abuse. What was she doing to him? Excuse me, I just had some cashew ice cream. So, quote, she demanded payment for the work, and he demanded money on back rent, and they settled that. Okay, so they settled the money part. So they settled, and everybody thought the matter was closed, unquote. He said, shortly after the matter, was settled, she gets a knock on the door from the police. She has since moved out of the apartment, her attorney said. The criminal case was originally stated to go to trial on Monday, but was postponed until August when the prosecutor said that they were not fully prepared, according to the journalist. Quote, I told them they should not contact me with any offer other than an outright dismissal, unquote, said the journalist and prosecutors. The charges are blatantly false. Quote, I'm hoping that the district attorney will do the right thing and dismiss the case, unquote. An agent in public or manager publicity listed as representing the actor who is appearing this summer in a Shakespeare in the Park adaptation of, quote, The Merry Wives of Windsor, unquote, did not immediately respond to requests for comment, nor did the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. Oh, what an article. That was kind of hard to read because, for one, the names are similar, and then I couldn't remember who was who while I was reading the article, like who was the actor and who was the journalist. But wow, this is messy. What do you guys think? If I was an attorney, yeah, this is a love affair gone wrong. And when you mix money with pleasure, they always say that. Or don't mix money with business. No. It can get really bad and really nasty. So that's basically what happened. And I think the judge may see that. But okay. Will they prove that they were in a relationship, like sexual relationship? I don't know. I mean, that would be, I would say, the only case, I suppose, that a judge could dismiss it if there's proof that there was a consensual relationship during the time he filed the charges. So yeah, this is confusing. Like, because maybe he can say I feel pressure. If there was a consensual relationship after she grabbed his butt, maybe he could say, oh, she threatened to, because she's a journalist, right? Journalists could be really nasty. They can ruin your life. They can just put something out there. Hey, there was a great Netflix show about journalists, or I think something like that. And he was like, somebody was paying him big money to put out stories, like stories about people to just ruin their careers. So yeah, he could have felt like she had something on him that could ruin his career, something very controversial. So he probably felt pressured to stay in a relationship with her to keep her quiet. Yeah. But other way around, she can be like, oh, he worked me like a slave. Oh my god, I feel sleepy. I think that's the end of this. I will post a couple of photos, and yeah, you can tell me what you think. But I never heard of this guy. Let me Google him really fast. The Wire. Oh, let's find out where he's from. How about that? I make a good long show about this. So, what this has to do with anger management, I don't know. Kidding, it has a lot. Behavioral intelligence. Emotional intelligence will teach you to be assertive. Taking my class teaches you and trains you on assertiveness and assertive skills. Wow, this is very fresh. A report just came out an hour ago. Look at this. You got the freshest news. Yeah, so AGA, this is the actor. He's Nigerian. I knew it was an African name. Nigerian, American actor and writer. Yeah, interesting. Those Nigerians, don't mess with them. I have 30% Nigerian, so don't mess with me. Okay, we'll sue your ass. Okay, I'm joking. I never sued anybody in my life, but people have made jokes. Similar jokes. Wow. So yeah, tell me what you think about this story. Ciao.